Well, I've got the pickup headed west to the small farming community of Tisra, South Carolina. I'm on my way to visit Karen Harper. And when I say she lives in the country, well, that's exactly what I mean. Hey, Karen.
Hey, Ron.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
We're kind of on the farm here, aren't we?
We sure are.
I just saw some bulls out there in the front yard.
That's right. That's right. The family farm surrounds our.
Wow. Okay. Karen Harper's been hard at work repainting and wallpapering her family's ranch-style house. Her next project is to replace those plain hollow core bedroom doors with something more substantial and better looking. So you want to take this down and replace it with a panel door? Okay. The old door comes off easily with a few taps on the hinge pins from Karen and a little added support from me. I'm going to pull the door away. There we go. Okay. Then we head outside with the old door. We remove all of its hardware, then lay it on top of Karen's new pine panel door. Now, since the old door fit just fine, we're going to use it as a template to cut the hinge mortises and to bore for the lock set on our new door. So let's just get everything lined up here. Are you flush?
I'm flush on the side.
Okay, good. All right. Once the two doors are clamped tightly together, we begin transferring the hinge locations. Okay. So we'll start out by taking a combination square, laying it right on the edge. And then instead of using a pencil, I'm going to use a knife here. This gives me a much sharper line. Okay. As you'll see later on, it gives me actually a place to set the chisel. After marking the sides of the hinge mortise, I use the combination square again to scribe a line across the bottom. Okay, let's set this down here. We're about to begin marking the opposite side for the latch set, and we discover a small problem. As you can see, our new door is a little bit wider than the old one, so I want to take some of this off and make them both the same width. I could use a hand plane to do that, but this is going to be a lot faster. This is a small power plane. A couple of passes is all it should take. We need to take off, not more than 1/8 of an inch. Now this is a hole saw. This is what we're going to use to cut out this large hole here for the latch cylinder. And we're going to use the old door once again as a template so we know exactly where the hole goes. But also the thickness of this door will help keep this drill vertical. Okay. All right. I want to stop when the pilot drill comes through the other side of the door. So I'll watch down here. Okay. And then I'll let you know when to stop. Push down a little harder. A little further. Push a little bit more. Stop. Take it out. We flip the doors over, and using the small pilot hole as a guide, okay, so nice and vertical, continue drilling from the other side. This creates clean edges on both sides of the hole. There you go. But does carry some other risks. The nice clean hole, though, is well worth the effort. Take this clamp. From here on, a lot of our work will be on the door's edge. We've come up with some temporary clamping jigs to hold the door in a vertical position. They'll come in especially handy now. Karen uses a spade bit to bore the latch bolt hole. It must be perfectly vertical, so once again, we use the combination square as a guide. Next, we screw the latch bolt in place temporarily and scribe around the outside of the plate. Now, it's time for some chiseling. We'll first need to cut the edge of the mortise. That knife mark we made earlier now provides a shallow V into which we can set the chisel blade, giving us much better accuracy than a simple pencil line would. Now, a chisel has two sides. This is the bevel right here, and this is the flat side. So you always take the material out by placing the bevel down like this. Good. With the latch bolt mortise complete, we turn our attention to the hinge mortises. Okay. Now, at this point, we're getting real close. So we can take the chisel and lie it with the bevel up, this part of it flat on here, okay. and we can kind of pare a little bit of this off and get this really flat under here, like this. Keep it flat. And this, now you're not digging in now. You're just leveling it off. You're flattening it off. So be sure to keep it flat. Down. Our accurate marking and careful chiseling pay off, and the hinges fit perfectly. Very nice.
Those are pretty.
While I install the doorknob set, Karen's inside screwing on the new hinges. Come up a little bit. There we go. It's time to hang the door. The hinge knuckles line up perfectly. And with a few taps on the pins, Our door hanging project is complete. Want to try it? See if it latches. Well, it sounds good.
Yeah, it's perfect.
You happy with it?
Oh, yeah.
Now, you've got a couple more of these to do. I'm going to give you this chisel out of my toolbox, and I'll sharpen it before I go.
Okay, sounds good.
And but I hope you'll give it a shot, because I think you can do it.
Oh, yeah, good start.
Okay.
I appreciate it.